A teenager with a basic laptop has more hacking power than the FBI did in 2005. I'm going to show you the exact tools they use, 60 of them, in 25 minutes. Every tool a real hacker has installed on their machine right now. Every category, from the first reconnaissance scan to the moment they walk out with everything you own. By the end of this video, you'll know which tool can clone your phone the second you plug it into the wrong charger. The one that turns a $50 gadget into a master key for nearly every wireless device in your house. The tool that's been used in every major ransomware attack of the last decade. And tool number 47 that's so dangerous. 3 governments have tried to make it illegal. One thing before we start, everything in this video is for educational purposes. Point is to show you what's out there so you understand what you're up against. Don't use any of this on systems you don't own or don't have explicit permission to test. Every hack has phases. Recon, breaking in, taking control. Hiding the evidence, walking out. We're starting at the beginning. Phase 1, reconnaissance. Before a hacker touches a target, they study it, they learn its weak points, its open doors, its routine. The tools that follow do that work automatically, in seconds. G-Hunt, type any Gmail address, get back everything Google knows about that person. Their public photos, their Maps reviews, their YouTube activity, calendar events they forgot were public, their connected devices, sometimes their real name, sometimes their phone number from a single email. Take a second. Think about how many places you've used your Gmail. Holehi, type an email. Get back every website where that email has an account. Dating apps, banking sites, adult sites, forums you forgot you joined in 2016. Subscription services your spouse doesn't know about. Checks 120 of the most popular sites in under a minute. No password needed, just the email. The version of you that exists online is bigger than you think. Sherlock, take a username, any username. Yours, your ex's, your boss's. Sherlock searches over 400 social platforms in seconds. Returns the accounts where that username is currently registered. People reuse usernames. It's the first thing investigators check, the first thing stalkers check, the first thing hackers check. One word. Every place it's been used. The harvester. Pointed at any company domain. Get back the employee emails publicly indexed across the internet. Search engines, public directories, breach databases, domain records, anywhere an email has ever appeared and been picked up by a crawler. This is how every targeted phishing attack starts. Before the email goes out, before the malware is written, someone runs the harvester, builds the target list. Your work email is already on someone's list, somewhere. Maltego. The intelligence visualizer, type one name, or one email, or one domain. Maltego builds a web, domain registrations, linked email addresses, breach exposures, corporate connections, public records, every link drawn out on a single screen, the same platform used by the FBI, by corporate threat intelligence teams, by professional investigators, a single starting point, the complete map of every public connection. Spiderfoot, hands-free OSINT. Give Spiderfoot a name, an email, a domain, a phone number, an IP address. It runs over 200 intelligence modules automatically, pulls from breach databases, public records, social media platforms, domain history. Threat intelligence feeds, comes back with a full intelligence dossier, while you go get coffee. What private investigators used to charge thousands for. Now free, on your laptop. Shodan, a search engine, but not for websites, for devices. Type webcam into Shodan. Get back hundreds of thousands of internet-connected cameras. Type industrial control system. Get back exposed SCADA interfaces, power grid management consoles, water treatment monitoring panels, building automation systems, things that should never have been on the public internet, but are. Most owners have no idea Shodan exists, or that their device is already indexed in it. Nmap, the network mapper, tells you every device on a network, every open port, every service running on each one. Pointed at the Wi-Fi you're connected to, you'd see every device sharing it. The smart fridge, the security camera, the phone in the other room, the printer you forgot about, every voice assistant, every gaming console, every connected gadget, used by nearly every penetration tester on Earth, used by nearly every nation-state intelligence agency. Most people have no idea what's actually on their network. Mass scan. Same idea as Nmap, built for speed, scans the entire public internet, all 4 billion IP addresses for one open port in 6 minutes. 10 million packets per second. The fastest port scanner ever built, one command. The whole internet mapped. This is how researchers find every vulnerable device on Earth, and how criminals find them at the same time. Look, If this video made you actually want to learn hacking, not just watch it, I built a place for that. Welcome to the Hacker Academy. Here's some of the things you get instant access to. The OSINT Field Manual. Learn how to find anyone online from a single photo, username, or email. A full course on hacking websites and Wi-Fi hacking. Learn how to build your own AI hacking agent that runs on your computer 24/7. The full beginner to pro hacking guide. And the pro hacking cheat sheets I personally use every single day. For $9 a month, you get lifetime access, locked at that price point. You can check it out via the link in the description. Phase 2, target analysis. You know who they are. Now you map what they've built. Their walls, their windows, their software, their patches. Every defense they put up before you attack a target. You have to know what's standing between you and the prize. What web? Point it at any website. Get back the full technology stack. The framework, the web server version, the content management system, the JavaScript libraries, the analytics tools, the ad networks, the CDN. Every component the site is built from, often right down to the version numbers. What web identifies over 1,800 different web technologies. A hacker isn't guessing what to attack. They're reading the menu. Wapalizer, the same idea, but built into your browser. Install the extension. Visit any website. One click and you see every technology powering it. Shopify, WordPress, React, Stripe, Google Tag Manager, plugins, frameworks, analytics services. It's used by competitive analysts, by marketers, by sales teams, and by attackers checking exactly what software a target is running. WAF-W00F, before a hacker attacks a website. They need to know if it has a guard. WAF-W00F detects and identifies web application firewalls. Cloudflare, Akamai, AWS Shield, Sucuri, Imperva. Over 150 different firewall products, identified by their digital fingerprints. If a hacker knows which firewall is protecting a site, they know which techniques have the best chance of slipping past it. Nikto, Web Server Vulnerability Scanner. Knowing the guard's name is half the job. Point Nikto at any website. It runs over 6,700 checks. Outdated server software, misconfigured headers, default installation files that should never be public, backup files left behind by developers, forgotten admin panels. Most companies have never run Nikto on their own site. Their attackers have. GoBuster. Most websites have hidden pages, admin panels, forgotten dev environments, backup files, old uploads, test pages from years ago. GoBuster finds them. Brute force directory discovery. Using a word list of common paths, it sends thousands of requests per second. Every hit is a door the site owner forgot was unlocked. There's a reason every company has a /admin page they thought was secret. It wasn't. Sublist Thrower. Big companies don't have one website, they have hundreds. Marketing pages, dev environments, internal portals, forgotten servers, old projects nobody remembers. Sublist Thrower finds them. Pulls subdomains from search engines, threat intelligence feeds, and public archives. The main website has a security team. The forgotten subdomain doesn't. That's where they get in. In minutes, a hacker has the full map. Phase 3, breaking in. You found the target. You mapped their defenses. You know exactly what's protecting them. Now you walk through the front door, or pick a window, or just kick it open. Burp Suite, the Swiss Army knife of web hacking. Burp Suite sits between your browser and any website. Every request your browser sends, every response it gets back. Burp intercepts it, lets you read it, modify it, resend it, replay it. Every modern web hacking technique. Burp is how it's executed. Login forms, shopping carts, APIs, authentication tokens, session cookies, everything that travels between you and a server. Burp lays it bare. This is the same software used by nearly every professional penetration tester, every bug bounty hunter, every Fortune 500 security team. The free version covers the core features. The professional version costs $475 a year, and it's worth every penny. SQL Map, the most famous database hacking tool ever made. SQL injection is the vulnerability that's been on the top 10 list for over 15 years. A flaw that lets an attacker insert their own commands into a website's database queries. SQL Map automates it, pointed at a vulnerable URL. One command, it detects the injection point, tests the database type, then dumps the entire database. Usernames, passwords, credit card numbers, personal information. Many major data breaches you've heard about have SQL injection somewhere in the chain. The vulnerability is older than YouTube. Companies still get hit by it every week. Nuclei, the modern vulnerability scanner. Nuclei runs templates. Each template is a small recipe that checks for one specific weakness: a misconfigured server, an exposed admin panel, a known CVE, a leaked API key, an unpatched bug. The Nuclei community has built over 8,000 of these templates, often within hours of a new vulnerability being disclosed. There's a nuclei template for it. A hacker running nuclei against a website is checking 8,000 different ways in at once. The defender has to be right every time. Nuclei only has to be right once. Hydra. When you can't find a vulnerability, you guess the password. Hydra is the online password cracker, pointed at a login form. SSH server. FTP, remote desktop. Any service that accepts credentials. Hydra tries combinations, username and password pairs, thousands per minute. It supports over 50 protocols. The login screen on your home router, Hydra can attack it. Your work VPN, Hydra can attack it. Your email server, same. Most accounts that fall to Hydra fall because the password was simple and the service didn't lock them out after a few wrong tries. A surprising number of services still don't. John the Ripper, the original password cracker. John works on hashed passwords, the scrambled version of a password that companies store instead of the password itself. If a hacker steals a database of password hashes, John is one of the first tools they reach for. It supports hundreds of different hash formats: Windows, Linux, Mac, database hashes, application hashes, zip files, PDF files, SSH keys. John has been cracking passwords since 1996. It's still doing it. Hashcat. Same idea as John, but faster, much faster. Hashcat uses your graphics card. The same GPU that renders video games becomes a hash cracking machine. Against fast hash types like MD5, a high-end GPU can test billions of password guesses per second. A 6-character lowercase password cracks in seconds. 8 characters with letters and numbers cracks in hours. 12 characters with proper complexity holds up, for now. Hashcat is what password researchers use to prove how bad most password choices really are, including yours, probably. CWL, the custom word list generator. Generic password lists are good, but targeted lists are better. Give CWL a website. It crawls every page, pulls out every word, builds a custom word list based on the actual content of the target. Hacking a company. Run CWL on their blog, their about page, their press releases. The word list comes back with their products, their executives' names, their company values, their slogans. People use words they're surrounded by to make their passwords. CWL is how attackers learn those words. FUF, the modern replacement for GoBuster. Faster, more flexible. Where GoBuster brute forces directories, FUF brute forces anything in a web request. Directories, files, subdomains, URL parameters, header values, authentication tokens. You point a FUF at a target, mark the place you want to fuzz, hand it a word list. It sends thousands of requests per second and tells you which ones got interesting responses. Bug bounty hunters use FUF to find hidden API endpoints, misconfigured admin panels, forgotten test pages, the corners of websites the developers forgot existed. The internet is full of forgotten corners. CrackMapExec, Windows networks are the hardest targets and the most rewarding. CrackMapExec, recently renamed NetExec, is the Swiss Army knife for attacking corporate Windows environments. Test a username and password against 1,000 machines at once. Find which ones it works on. Identify what's vulnerable. Enumerate users. Dump credentials. Move laterally. A penetration tester with valid credentials and CrackMapExec can map an entire Windows network in minutes. Active Directory networks weren't designed with hackers in mind. Phase 4. Hardware hacking. Everything we've covered so far, lives on a computer screen, but some of the best hacking tools you hold in your hand. Small, portable, disguised, pointed at the physical world. Welcome to where software hacking meets hardware. Take a good look at the Flipper Zero device, the most viral hacking gadget of the last 5 years. It looks like a Tamagotchi, a small handheld device with a tiny screen. Cartoon dolphin animation, looks like a toy. It's absolutely not just a toy. Flipper Zero reads and emulates wireless signals, RFID cards, and NFC tags. Sub-gigahertz radio, infrared, Bluetooth. It can clone hotel room keys, building access cards, older garage door openers, older car key fobs. TV remotes from across a room can be completely controlled. It costs $169. Brazil banned imports in 2023. Canada announced its own ban the next year. Amazon stopped selling it. The reason is the same in every case. Too capable, too cheap, too easy. This is the tool that's been on every cybersecurity TikTok for 2 years straight. And this is just the beginning for this device. Next up is the extremely powerful Hack RF1. If Flipper Zero is the toy, then the Hack RF is the laboratory. Software-defined radio, meaning instead of being built to receive one type of signal, it can receive almost any wireless signal between 1 MHz and 6 GHz, which is basically every consumer wireless protocol that exists. It handles car remotes, garage doors, and even pagers, aircraft transponders, satellite signals, GPS, cellular bands, walkie-talkies. HackRF doesn't just receive these signals, it can transmit them too. Capture a signal once, replay it later. The same trick that breaks older garage door openers and used to break older car keys before rolling codes became standard. In the right hands, HackRF can analyze any wireless protocol on Earth. In the wrong hands, it can replay them. USB Rubber Ducky. It is the legendary keyboard emulator, a USB stick with a secret. When you plug a normal USB stick into a computer, the computer asks what it is: a drive, a keyboard, a printer, whatever the USB stick says. The computer believes it. The Rubber Ducky tells the computer it's a keyboard. Computers don't ask permission for keyboards, they trust them implicitly. So the Rubber Ducky starts typing, faster than any human ever could. Hundreds of keystrokes per second. It can open a terminal, download malware, change system settings, exfiltrate files, anything a real keyboard could do, in about 7 seconds. If you've ever found a USB stick in a parking lot and been tempted to plug it in to see what's on it, if you ever find a USB stick in a parking lot, seriously, just don't do it. It is not worth the risk. Now imagine the Rubber Ducky, but it doesn't look like a USB stick. It's the OMG cable. Now imagine the Rubber Ducky, but it doesn't look like a USB stick. It looks like a charging cable, an Apple Lightning cable, a USB-C cable, identical to the one in your bag right now. You couldn't tell the difference. Plug your phone in, or your laptop, it charges, the cable works, everything seems normal. Everything seems normal until it is too late. Wi-Fi has been detected. Except the cable also has Wi-Fi, a tiny microcontroller hidden in the plug, connected to an attacker's network, from across the room or across the country. They can inject keystrokes, run commands, exfiltrate data from the connected device. The cable costs about $200 to buy, or $0 to receive as a freebie at a tech conference, from someone who really wants you to plug it in. Phase 5. Wireless attacks. Now starting wireless attacks phase. Every wireless signal around you right now is moving through the air. Your phone to the router, your laptop to the access point, your security camera to the cloud, your smart speaker to the internet. Anyone with the right tool can reach into the air and take what's moving through it. Any wireless signal is vulnerable. AirCrackNG, the most famous Wi-Fi hacking suite ever built. AirCrackNG isn't one tool, it's a suite. 8 different tools that work together to attack wireless networks. Captures the handshake, the moment your device first connects to a Wi-Fi network. That handshake contains everything needed to crack the password. AirCrack takes that handshake offline and tries millions of password guesses against it. WEP encryption falls in minutes. WPA and WPA2 networks fall when the password is weak. A network using password 123 or admin 2024 doesn't stand a chance. A network with a long random password is much harder. AirCrackNG has been the standard Wi-Fi cracking tool for over 15 years. If an attacker was nearby when you connected to a Wi-Fi network, they could have captured the handshake, stored it, cracked it later, at their leisure. When you set your Wi-Fi password, that's what you're defending against. Wi-Fi, the automated Wi-Fi attack tool. AirCracking requires you to know what you're doing. Wi-Fi doesn't. It automates the entire Wi-Fi attack process. Run one command. Wi-Fi scans the area, finds every Wi-Fi network in range, sorts them by signal strength, then attacks each one, captures handshakes, runs cracking attempts, reports back what fell. A teenager with a Wi-Fi adapter and a laptop can run Wi-Fi at a coffee shop. Leave it running for a while. Leave it running. Come back an hour later. See which networks gave up their passwords. This is the tool that lowered the bar. Kismet, the wireless surveillance tool. Kismet doesn't attack networks. It watches them, silently, passively, picking up every wireless signal in the area without sending anything itself. It sees hidden networks, networks that don't broadcast their names. Networks the owner thought were invisible. Kismet sees them anyway. It identifies every device connected to every network in range. Phones, laptops, smartwatches, security cameras, Bluetooth speakers. Builds a complete map of the wireless landscape. Park a car outside a building, run Kismet, walk away. The data is still yours to keep. Come back the next day with a list of the wireless devices that came and went. This is how attackers do reconnaissance on a target's physical location. Without ever entering the building, moving through the walls. Wi-Fi Fisher, the human-centric attack tool. Most hacking tools attack the crypto. Wi-Fi Fisher attacks the human. It creates a perfect copy of a real Wi-Fi network. Same name, same look. Stronger signal than the real one. More powerful signal. Wi-Fi Fisher first kicks your device off the real network. Your device tries to reconnect. Sees 2 networks with the same name. Next to the stronger one, which is the fake. Then Wi-Fi Fisher shows you a login page. It looks like a router admin panel, or your ISP's update notice, or a captive portal, asking you to enter your Wi-Fi password to continue. Please type now. Most people enter it without a second thought. Why would you suspect a network you've connected to 100 times? Same name, same setup, just asking for a password again. Like routers sometimes do after an update. You just gave it to the attacker. BetterCap, the modern Swiss Army knife for network attacks. Essential tool for any hacker. BetterCap doesn't do just one thing. It does almost everything. Wi-Fi attacks, Bluetooth attacks, network man-in-the-middle, ARP spoofing, DNS hijacking, SSL stripping, network reconnaissance, real-time traffic interception. Sit on the same Wi-Fi as someone. Run BetterCap. They won't even know you're there watching. Now every website they visit, every request their device sends, every page they load, routes through your computer first, data intercepting now. Modern encryption stops you from reading most of it, but you see exactly where they're going, and in some cases, what they're sending. This is what happens when you connect to public Wi-Fi without a VPN. The person on the next table over could be running BetterCap, and you'd never know. Stay safe out there. Phase 7, exploitation. You know who they are, you know what they have, you know what's defending them. You've already watched their traffic. Now you weaponize all of it. This is the phase that turns access into damage. Metasploit, the biggest hacking framework on Earth. Metasploit is the difference between a security researcher with theoretical knowledge and one who can actually break in. It contains thousands of pre-built exploits, thousands of payloads, hundreds of auxiliary modules, all in one framework, all free, all maintained. The workflow looks like this. Pick a target, pick an exploit, pick a payload, type one command. Metasploit handles the rest. When a new vulnerability is disclosed, often within hours or days, there's a Metasploit module for it. The same Metasploit that ships free with Kali is the same Metasploit that consulting firms charge $40,000 to deploy in a penetration test. The script kiddie who downloaded Metasploit yesterday has the same arsenal as a six-figure professional. The only difference between them is knowing what to type. BF, the browser exploitation framework, while Metasploit attacks systems, BEF attacks browsers. It works by hooking a victim's browser through a malicious script, hidden on a compromised website, or sent in a phishing link. Once the browser is hooked, the attacker has a live control panel showing every hooked browser, anywhere in the world. From that control panel, they can capture credentials, trigger fake login prompts, scan the victim's internal network from their browser, take screenshots of what they're viewing. Modern browsers have hardened significantly against BEF. Many of its tricks no longer work on current Chrome or Firefox, but on older devices, embedded browsers, corporate environments running outdated systems, BEF still bites. This is the tool that made hacking look like the movies. SET, the social engineering toolkit, built by a pen tester named Dave Kennedy. Open source, free, menu-driven. You launch SET, pick from a menu. Spear phishing attack, mass mailer, credential harvester, fake website cloning, infectious USB drive, wireless access point attack, QR code attack. Pick one. Answer a few questions. SET builds the entire campaign for you. Want to clone a target's company login page? SET does it in seconds. Want to send a phishing email that looks like it's from their IT department? SET writes it. Want to generate a malicious USB drive that runs when plugged in? SET prepares it. The phishing techniques you've seen in security awareness training, SET teaches them. The campaigns that pen testers run against their own companies, SET runs them. The social engineering attacks that work in the real world, SET productized them. Social engineering isn't an art form anymore, it's a menu. MSF Venom, the payload generator. If Metasploit is the framework, MSF Venom builds the bullets. It generates standalone payloads, Windows executables, Linux binaries, Mac applications, Android packages, web shells, JavaScript snippets, each one designed to run on the target. Open a connection back to the attacker and give them control. The simplest MSF Venom payload is a reverse shell. One command builds it. Hand it to a victim. They run it. The attacker has a command line on their machine. Antivirus catches most basic MSF Venom payloads now, but the framework allows encoding, obfuscation, custom modifications. What gets generated is only as good as the person modifying it, but the starting point is built in. Searchsploit, a search engine for breaking things. Searchsploit is the offline command line search for exploit database, the largest public archive of known exploits on Earth. Type a software name and version. Searchsploit returns every public exploit for that software, every known way to break it. Apache version 2.4.49. Microsoft Exchange, WordPress plugins, industrial control firmware. Whatever software you found running on your target, Searchsploit tells you how to break it. The exploits are already written. The proof of concepts are already published. The hard work is already done. A pen tester running Searchsploit isn't researching attacks, they're shopping for them. ExploitDB, the archive itself, the largest public collection of exploits ever assembled. Maintained by Offensive Security, the team behind Kali Linux. ExploitDB contains tens of thousands of exploits, going back decades. For every operating system, every major application, every common web framework, when a security researcher discovers a vulnerability after responsible disclosure, or sometimes before, the exploit ends up here, public, searchable, free. This is where every aspiring hacker learns how attacks actually work. By reading the proof of concept code line by line, the archive doesn't teach hacking, it documents how everything was broken. Veil, the antivirus bypass framework. Most exploits get caught by modern antivirus. The signatures are known, the patterns are detected, Defender sees them coming. Veil generates payloads designed to evade those signatures. It uses encoding, obfuscation, encryption, code generation techniques that make each payload look unique to antivirus engine. In its prime, around 2015, Veil could bypass most antivirus products of the era, slip past the frontline defenses, land on the target, and execute. Modern endpoint protection has caught up. Today's EDR products use behavioral analysis, not just signatures. Veil's tricks don't fool them as easily. But against older systems, smaller companies, unpatched environments, Veil still works. Phase 8. Post-exploitation. You're past the perimeter, past the front door, past the defenses everyone thought would stop you. The hard part is over. Now comes the part most people don't realize is the most important. Staying inside, moving sideways, taking what you came for, without anyone knowing you were ever there. Mimikatz, the most dangerous tool ever released publicly. Mimikatz was created by a French security researcher named Benjamin Delpy, released publicly in 2011 as a proof of concept. To show Microsoft a flaw in how Windows handles passwords, Microsoft was warned. The proof of concept became a public tool. The tool became the backbone of nearly every major Windows breach of the last decade. Here's what Mimikatz does. When a user logs into a Windows computer, their password is stored in memory in a process called LSASS. Mimikatz reads that memory and extracts the credentials on older Windows systems in plain text, on modern systems as password hashes. Either way, the attacker now has what they need to impersonate that user. Bloodhound, the Active Directory mapper. Corporate networks run on Active Directory, the system Microsoft uses to manage who has access to what. Users, groups, permissions, trust relationships, service accounts, group policies. It looks simple on paper. In practice, a large corporate Active Directory has thousands of users, hundreds of groups, tens of thousands of permission relationships, layers of inheritance and trust. Bloodhound maps all of it as a graph. You give Bloodhound the data. It draws every relationship, every path, every user who can become an admin, every misconfigured permission that lets one account take over another. A red teamer pulls up Bloodhound, asks one question: how do I get from this normal user account to domain admin? Bloodhound highlights the shortest path, 3 accounts to compromise, 4 hops to absolute control. What used to take penetration testers weeks of careful analysis, Bloodhound shows in seconds. What used to take penetration testers weeks of careful analysis, Bloodhound shows in seconds. Sliver, the modern command and control framework. For years, attackers used a commercial product called Cobalt Strike. Cost $6,000 a year, designed for legitimate red teamers. But pirated copies became the standard for serious cybercrime. Sliver is the free open source replacement, built by a respected security firm. Bishop Fox released publicly. Modern, actively maintained. It does what Cobalt Strike does. Generates implants, stealthy malware that calls back to the attacker. The attacker has a full control interface, hundreds of compromised machines, all managed from one dashboard. The legitimate red teaming community uses it, but so does everyone else. Microsoft has documented Sliver in real-world attacks since 2022. Free, powerful, and increasingly, the criminal's choice. Havoc, the new generation, released in 2022. Havoc is what happens when a new framework arrives. Modern interface, active development, built specifically for red team operations against current defenses. Compared to older tools, Havoc is designed to evade modern endpoint detection, behavioral analysis, memory scanning, the defenses that catch Mimikatz, and traditional Metasploit payloads. It hasn't been around long enough to have the battle scars of Mimikatz or Cobalt Strike, but it's where some serious red teams are moving, and where serious attackers are watching. The arms race never stops. Impacket, the Active Directory Swiss Army knife. Impacket isn't one tool, it's dozens of Python scripts. Each one does something specific in a Windows network. Secretsdump.py pulls credential hashes from a compromised system. psexec.py runs commands on remote machines. Getnpusers.py extracts tickets for accounts that can be brute forced. wmexec.pi executes commands without leaving traces. Nearly every common technique, every method of credential extraction and lateral movement on Windows has an in-packet script for it. Penetration testers don't move through Windows networks by hand. They move through in-packet. PowerSploit, the PowerShell post-exploitation toolkit. Windows ships with PowerShell, a scripting language built into every modern Windows machine, designed for administrators, used by attackers. PowerSploit weaponizes PowerShell, modules for credential dumping, code execution, network reconnaissance, exfiltrating data, all written in PowerShell, all using legitimate Microsoft tools. This is the living off the land attack philosophy. Don't install your own tools. Use the ones that came with the operating system. The defender can't easily block PowerShell. The whole company runs on it. Modern defenses restrict it, log it, monitor it, but killing it entirely breaks too much. PowerSploit's original development has slowed, but every technique it documented lives on in newer tools. It taught a generation of attackers how to fight without bringing weapons. Chisel, when firewalls block your way out. A compromised machine isn't useful if you can't reach it. Most corporate networks block outbound connections except on standard ports. HTTP, HTTPS, DNS. That's it. Chisel tunnels through HTTP. It looks like normal web traffic, goes through the same ports as a web browser, but inside is an encrypted tunnel, letting the attacker maintain a hidden connection back to a compromised machine. The firewall thinks the compromised machine is just browsing the internet. It's actually phoning home to the attacker, every few seconds, forever, a reverse tunnel, through the front door, disguised as a web request. Most firewalls don't notice.